It's actually not my style. I just don't like it. Yeah.
And a lot of times all you can do is call somebody.
It's the pond guy.
That's right, yeah, I'm gonna get
You
a,
called yourself that, not me.
I'm okay with that. Yeah, yeah,
That's all it is.
how are things going for you?
We're talking to Ruth and you saw her.
You what?
How are things going for you?
Good,
Good, good.
good, 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 good.
I can put this on my computer real
Pam
quick.
and Diane. To the Murray City Municipal Council Committee of the Whole, September 2nd, 2025. I would like to excuse Paul Pickett, Councilmember Paul Pickett. Everyone else is here, other council members, Jennifer, the mayor. We have Greg and Matt up here, as well as Patty. The first thing on our agenda item today is the approval of the minutes of the workshop July 28th, 2025, and the Committee of the Whole, August 5th, 2025. I will take a motion in a second. Or any corrections?
Yeah, I have some corrections that I mentioned to staff.
They're gonna correct. Do we need to?
Those councils meeting?
No, it's for this meeting.
Oh, the workshop?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's the workshop.
Yes.
So.
Can you just say the page that it was
Yes,
on, just
so
so
we can-
everyone knows?
Yeah,
Or
so
36.
page 6 of
Yeah.
the workshop minutes,
There's
just an awkwardly worded sentence, and so the grammarian in me came out.
Okay. Anything else in any of
So
the
at the bottom of page 6.
bottom? Okay. Anything else on, yep, okay. So I will take a motion and a second.
A motion to approve the minutes of the workshop, July 28th, 2025, and Committee of the Whole, August 5th, 2025.
With changes.
With changes, thank you.
I'll second.
Okay. Well, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say
Aye.
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 Thank you. Any opposed? Seeing there is none, the minutes are approved. Okay, our first discussion item is our power department with Greg Ballon.
Committee of the Whole,
We can approve both of them.
was that part of it?
You bundled them, right?
Yes.
Motion.
Yeah,
that's
Oh,
what I
okay, I didn't hear the second.
Yeah, Committee of the Whole, August 5th, 2025. Okay, our first discussion is with Power Department report, Greg Ballon with Matt Young. Thank you.
Thanks for having us here today. We seem like we were just here a second ago, so
You were.
last week, right? I think we're just gonna kind of talk about some of the things that were talked about at the UAMPS Members Conference. And I know one that probably caught a little bit of attention. We'll go right into it. So it's like, this is what Mason, this is his, I kind of pared down his presentation just a little bit, but these are the values that UAMPS is looking at. Well, I'm gonna go through these pretty quick to get to the meat. So right now, if you look at the middle circle, deliver low cost, reliable power to members. And you've got EDAM, which we're gonna talk about a little bit. New large loads, project-based membership model, transmission, developing new generation, and regulatory and statutory uncertainty. So that's just some of the things that's on their minds. But as we get into this, okay, you would have heard about all requirements. This is something that got talked about a year ago. All right, it got talked about
The UM's toolkit
meeting in the spring, and I think it talked about at the end of the, maybe someone hit it on the December meeting, but we'll kind of bring it back to the forefront again. So what this is right now we're in project based, and so we get to kind of pick and choose what projects we're in, depending on what we want, how we want to see Murray go forward. They started talking about something that's called all requirements, and what that means is the members commit to purchase all wholesale power from UAMPS. And when I first got pitched, it's like, that's an interesting thought, because for one, I mean, if they're handling all of that, that means we can focus more on just running the power department and distribution to our residents. And so, it's just kind of been bouncing around. They have an ad hoc committee and they wanted me to chair that, so I'm chairing that right now. But they'll have both models. We can stay in our project base if we want. We can explore what it would be to all requirements, pros and cons both ways. So we're not committed. I mean, we're committed to the project base right now because that's what we're in. But we'll look at it as we go down this road. I think what maybe caught your attention is first off, we'll talk about why. Diverse member needs require flexibility. Wholesale markets are changing. That's probably the biggest thing, and we're going to hit about. Matt will talk about that with EDAM just a little bit. And there's just.
Greg, can you
Yes.
go back?
Yeah, you bet. How far back?
Right there.
Okay.
Okay, so members commit to purchase all wholesale power from UAMPS. This is just up for consideration, right?
Oh, yeah, no, so that, I think that's probably what, you guys saw all requirements, they're requiring us to go to this. No, so that's just the name of this new option that they're putting forward to all UM's members. It's
Okay,
called-
if we don't wanna mess with it, they'll do it all for us.
Yes,
Basically.
yeah, so they would take all our resources and we would just let them make, so what it's good for is, they can go out and economies of scale, right? So they can probably do it better than if we're just out trying to do a megawatt here and a megawatt there. They can do 100 megawatts at a time and get probably a little better than we can on our own. So it's just called all requirements because that just means they provide everything for us. So UMPA, we've been to Provo, that's totally what UMPA does. That's all requirements, that they don't offer a project base with them. So Provo, Nephi, all those cities are all requirements.
Does it cost more?
I know Provo's rates are pretty good. So,
But we're a member of UAMPS, so does it cost more to have them do everything for us,
there'd be a
Then
slight
for us
increase.
to pick and choose?
There'd be a slight increase on, their time for us, but I think it would be, I'm not saying negligible, but I mean, it's not gonna be outlandish either. They're very good at putting their costs out, putting them, to where they, I trust UAM, so I think it would be fair. So,
I assume it would, like if we're buying it wholesale, we get a better rate, so that would probably balance out the cost. Like if per megawatt's cheaper than what we're buying on the market,
yeah,
right?
on some
Yeah,
of those purchases, yes, we would get a break because of, again, the economies of scale. So they're looking at, if depending on how many people go to all requirements, they might be looking at, 100 megawatt purchase versus us going out for
That's
5.
interesting, they call it all requirements.
Yeah.
Sounds like you have to.
That's what
Yeah, so if you were
Yeah, I know.
if you were listening, which I know you all
We're not doing
were,
this. We're losing our autonomy.
We're gonna call it the optional all requirement.
Okay.
it's just, we'll call it, UAS provides everything for you.
Okay.
It's a smorgasbord of, they provide it, you just bring up to the table and just.
Oh,
There we go. Maybe we'll ask. And I think that's just an industry standard, but I know when y'all heard all requirements, I think some red lights went off. It's like, and I know this is the part that probably got a little even more, so we talked about that a little bit, but so here's the key changes for all requirements. No individual approvals for each power purchase, single power supply contract with UAMPS, and UAMPS manages full procurement, short, mid, and long term. And so they would definitely be, they do a good job of forecasting and, giving us things to look at going forward, but it would, so this is why it may be a better fit. This is their thoughts. Reduces procurement complexity, which I would agree with. Addresses market changes and smaller resources, what we just talked about. Allows members to focus on distribution, which was just talked about as well. And then project-based members are still available for those with, that have the staffing in place. So if someone maybe doesn't have the staffing in place, this is definitely a fit for maybe a small utility. We have the staffing right now, but it's intriguing. And then it's expected to be cost-effective, so minimal incremental administrative costs. That's what we were just talking about. So, and fairly based on effort. And then, of course, procurement savings from larger volume certainty. So it takes a lot of the uncertainty out of things, which is kind of nice. And this is the part I think probably really red lights started going off when they said, okay, we're gonna solicit member feedback. We're gonna have draft and all requirements contract. We'll review the contracts, and by January 26th, we're gonna have everybody signed up.
Were you all there for this?
Yeah. So I didn't get a chance to probably talk to you all about that right when it was brought up, and it's like, you're all thinking, oh, we're going down this road and there's no
Wait, tell
no
anyone,
going
this is,
back.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No, this is totally it's at our
Well, that's
discretion.
hilarious.
We're looking at it and we're talking about it. It gets talked about every time we're at UAMPS. And so it'll
Oh, I'd have
get,
thought the same thing. If I'd have been sitting there and thinking I should have had a little more knowledge than this, and, oh, that's interesting.
but like I said, it's been talked about a few times in different meetings, but it's started to it's gaining steam now. And so it's something that they're
How many
really
people,
looking at.
any other cities involved doing it?
I don't think anybody has committed at this point that I'm aware of. I don't know of anybody that's committed. But just like I said, we're just exploring it, and maybe nobody will, and maybe there'll be a big chunk of people that do. I don't know. I don't know what what other cities are thinking at this point. We're just in hey, let's look into
I've
this
talked to
and
a
see.
few big ones that are not,
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
you know, which ones.
I'd be. Yeah.
So if we opted into this,
Mhm.
how much say would we get in the power sources we get? For example, UAMPS decides we're gonna do 40 megawatts of coal, and we don't want that. Do we get any say, or are we just kind of stuck with that's what they're doing?
I think that's
Yeah,
what it
I think
means.
I think that would be.
Yeah, it said no
they-
approvals required for
Yeah,
purchases.
they get to.
All required.
They get to go out and acquire what's best, I guess, at that point. They're not looking at any coal right now.
Did they push this on?
Did they what?
Did they push it?
No,
Just
no, it was
present.
very high level.
Oh.
I mean, I think Mason did a really good job of describing it, and
They just
it was just,
kind of laid it out and
yeah. No, they don't. To
I
them,
didn't think they.
it's totally up to the members.
all kinds
No.
of questions for me,
Yeah.
so I'm
Yeah, so it's just one of those things that we'll look at. I don't know what it would take for us to get into this, because I mean, we have so many different projects we're in right now. I don't know how unwinding all that works, and there even if you can unwind, like IPA and some of these other things that we're in, I don't know how that works. And we haven't really talked about that. So it's just
You might be answering this. So, like our hydro plant, would that become UAMPS, or would we still have that? Or our
That-
turbines, our natural gas turbines?
yeah, that's all very, very good questions.
yeah.
That it might get, I don't know if that get lumped into the all requirements or not. That's a good question. That's something we haven't asked yet, so, but that's a very valid question, right? Especially where we're just getting to that point where.
Did you fix them before you take them away?
That's probably what you're waiting for. Before we now we'll take it.
No kidding.
We'll sign tomorrow, no, just kidding. So anyway, great questions. I think those are all questions that we have, and we'll talk through eventually, and I mean, it's probably, yeah, it's something that we'll look into. It would be something that we would come to you with eventually, but I don't know, I haven't got a good feel on this one yet, so, too many questions, so. Then with that, any questions? I think I definitely see the benefits, and I definitely see it.
Takes away some of our control,
Right,
and that's what we want to
some
fight
of our
ourselves on.
independence.
It's kind of why we have
And
a
we
power company.
are independent.
For sure.
What did you say, Scott?
I think that's part of why we have a power company, because
Yeah.
we want to be
Yeah.
independent.
Yeah, and we sure do.
Yeah.
And we've done a really good job over the years of
Yes,
taking
sir.
care of Murray. So it would be a huge monumental shift in change, and I don't think we're ready for that yet, but.
No.
Makes me
So-
uncomfortable.
The only thing that I can see is the real benefit is if the market pricing, if we can
Sure.
get a substantial deal off of it, but I don't know if we're gonna get enough, like,
More
we can,
control on what it is.
like, but if they're bundling a bunch of us together, that's where I'd say, but
Sometimes-
I don't know if it's worth the risk.
I'm not saying you have to do this, but I've seen other situations like this where it may not be best for us, but it sure is good for another city when they push.
Like, I can see like one of the smaller cities
Yeah, that's what
really
I'm saying.
jumping in on something like this.
For sure.
I don't think you'll see big ones, but that's my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go into another little topic real quick. So this is kind of what is driving the L requirements, is just how things are changing. Things are kind of getting out of our hands with with EDAM. Matt will talk a little bit about that, and CAISO. We have to go wherever Rocky Mountain Power goes because they're our load serving entity, and so we follow them. So there are some things that are completely out of our control, and CAISO and EDAM are something that Rocky Mountain Power is entering into, so now that means UAMPS is having to, us as a whole and as a city, we're entering those markets as well, and they're very complicated. They're different than we've ever done them before, so that's a whole new horizon that's coming our way. So those are a couple of things that will help, let Matt talk about some of those, so.
Throw me under the bus.
Yeah.
So
That gets the fun.
those are, as you well know, any meetings you go to at UAMPS or ABPA, there's numerous acronyms that get thrown around, and those are two that have been mentioned quite a bit recently. Is CAISO is the California Independent System Operator, and they work in conjunction with another acronym, the Western Energy Imbalance Market. Analogy I like for those is you all know what an air traffic controller does. Those entities are kind of like the air traffic controller for energy in the Western Interconnection. So they make sure that loads are all balanced between different utilities and whatnot, right? Which became very important. The California one came into existence when solar became really popular in California, right? So they needed this whole new entity to balance all the solar that they had in excess during the day. They now export, right, and then bring in energy in the evenings. And so, as Greg mentioned, EDAM is an extended day-ahead market. So in these imbalanced markets, there's already day-ahead markets that exist, but they are extending that. That will go into effect this next spring.
It's EDAM.
Yes, energy extended day-ahead market. So as Greg mentioned, because Pacific Corp is our balancing authority, it's kind of out of our control. They've decided to participate in this extended day-ahead market, and I won't get into the weeds of all the intricacies of that. I don't even know if I could, but UAMPS is doing lots of trainings every month at their board meetings where they're passing along information and how they're trying to tackle this. What the goal of that is, it has to do with resource adequacy and reliability and cost savings is the whole idea of it, right? It's a huge thing for UAMPS. They partnered with TEA, the Energy Authority, to help them tackle this. It has to do a lot with scheduling, and when we say resource adequacy, you can't be short. You have to have 115% of resources scheduled essentially, right? Or there's fines that will come down. So the question that we have is, well, how does this affect Murray, right? And so the answer to that is, in the short term, it doesn't apply to our turbines or our hydro. The turbines are grandfathered out, I guess, where it doesn't apply to the natural gas turbines or the hydro. Both landfill gas plants are lumped into the network model, but we don't own those. We just have power purchase agreements with those. So part of our role is getting the owners of those facilities, helping them to register for this EDAM, and so that they're in the model and everything. Anyway, I'm getting into the weeds. Like I said, I wasn't going to, but we will, just so that you're aware, two acronyms that you'll see continuing to pop up as you attend meetings, and we'll continue to provide updates as we learn more about those things, and specifically in how they pertain to Murray, right? So, and clear as mud. Any questions about that?
Well, we got some new acronyms.
New acronyms, which
Pretty
is
excited
always
about
exciting
that.
for us. Yes, we love new acronyms.
Did you get CAISO spelled correctly? CAISO.
You said the turbines are grandfathered in. What if we upgrade them?
Should still, well, that's a great question. As far as I know, they're still under the requirement where we would have to build new generation for them to be included. So some of the other UAMPS cities that have new generation coming online, their generators are being included in this in this model, but again, that could always change. It's our understanding that they would be excluded though, so good question.
Keep us up on this.
Yes.
We sure will.
Little
As-
by
as-
little.
As we
so,
learn,
you know.
we will let,
Yeah.
we'll
do our
keep you
best.
posted, so.
Thank you.
And we appreciate your interest. I mean, you guys are very well educated in our power department. We like that. So thank you. It's
pretty
complex.
important part
It's
of
very
our city.
complex.
Yeah.
So, but we're grateful for your interest in our department for sure. Thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
What's happening with the 5-year plan? Where are we
good
at
question.
after the gentleman passed away?
5-year plan. We are on fast track. We've been talking. We've got a new engineer on board, and so they're gonna fast track that for
By
us.
the end of the year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're hoping it's done before whatever I'm gonna say there, we're gonna say, but yes, we're working with them on that, and thank heavens it's getting close again, so. but,
Good.
And in the conference, I thought it was very interesting when they talked about the fire mitigation.
Yeah, that one, so that really affects Rocky Mountain Power.
Yeah.
But what affects them affects us, right?
Yep.
So their transmission goes through some of these areas, so it's PS, let's see, public safety power shut off. So yeah, they,
Their acronym.
yeah,
That's a good
PS,
one.
write that one down. But they have the ability to
Yes.
just turn our power off if weather conditions are just right and they think something could cause a fire, they can open up their system, they'll let us know, and we have to deal with that.
Yeah.
So that's,
I
fire
think-
mitigation it's on the forefront right now because it's expensive. It costs lives, it's expensive, it can wipe out, it can wipe out cities, right?
Yeah.
So that's something that's UAMS is helping us with that as well. So we met on fire mitigation and trying to do our part the best that we can, but we're really reliant on Rocky Mountain Power and how their transmission gets to us. So thank you, that's a good one.
Well, thank you.
And part of our citizens are on Rocky Mountain Power.
Correct,
Yes.
correct,
Person
Mundo,
around here.
correct, as am I. So we wanna keep our lights on, right? But yeah, I mean, it's complex,
Yeah.
this industry is so complex right now, it keeps you up at night. So,
Yeah.
there's lots of things keeping us up at night. So, and that's one, right? So, and we won't talk about squirrels.
Nope, we won't talk about squirrels.
So, anyway, thank you so much for letting us be here with you today.
Is there any other questions for the power? Okay, thank you, gentlemen.
You're welcome.
We appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
Okay, our next agenda item is discussion on an ordinance amending section 17.24.050, 17.96.020, 17.100.020, 17.104.020, 17.108.020, 17.112.020, 17.116.020, 17.120.020, 17.124.020, and 17.128.020 of the Murray City Municipal Code relating to the maximum number of children permitted at a licensed in-home daycare. Zachary Smallwood and David Rogers, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having us again.
Sorry
Yeah,
guys.
so we're back.
That took so long, you're out of time.
Yeah, sorry. No questions, fine. We're back, just from last week, right? Yeah. So we got you the updated kind of flyer indicating, the kind of how the kids are spread out throughout the state. Sounded weird. And also updated the ordinance so it was reflecting the right permitted and conditional uses.
The flyer should be right before your slides.
Yes. So we're happy to take any questions.
Did you find out what other cities are doing along the Wasatch Front in Salt Lake County?
nobody else does a full 16. I think there is one other city that does it, but most of them don't. It's kind of a smattering, it goes all over the place. 8, 12, there were some 14s, and I think there was one 16. Can double check.
But nobody does 16.
This is a relatively new change at the state level. So sometimes there have been cities that just take on what the state requires and don't update their code. We haven't taken that approach in the past, where we just defer to the state. We usually like to keep our code pretty clean. Let's see. I don't have the research right on front of me.
So it looks like this was passed in 2022.
Yeah.
So that's 16. So we're 3 years away.
Yeah.
Is the applicant following all the state rules now? From my understanding from you guys, that she is following all the state rules as of right now, right? And she's just coming to you for
From what I
having her
understand,
date.
yeah. She has her license as she is right now.
Okay.
But she would like to increase to the 16, which would the
She
state.
already has done that, correct? She currently has 16.
I think she is operating at 16, so she shouldn't be,
Yeah.
but that is her request. That's also why she came forward with the request.
So she's just being honest to move
No,
forward.
16, that's a lot. That's a lot as well. I'm still not comfortable with it. That's why I'd be really curious to find out what other cities are doing.
Okay, so in the minutes, it's Commissioner Hacker asked how many children Miss Blackwell will have now. She said she will have 16 children, so she doesn't have 16 children from what I've read in the minutes. Or-
Go ahead. I think what we should probably work towards is, discussing the text amendment, because I think she is operating with 16, but that doesn't really apply
Okay.
we would enforce that later down the road. If the council decides not to move forward, we would go and enforce that she can only have the 12 that we currently allow. And so I think looking at the request for the change is probably, where we should focus.
So
But I also think it's pertinent to know what other cities in our area are doing.
And I'm looking that up right now.
according to state law, we go into 16, 10 of them have to be above the age of 2. So, you're only looking at 6 of them with 2 people who are in diapers pretty much. Well, I guess you're in a diaper still by 4, depending on the kid. So,
It's a lot.
yeah. So, but I'm just saying, there are a lot of kids that aren't, and it's not that dramatically different when it's a 6-year-old in daycare and at an elementary school. I think, or a 4-year-old. Elementary school takes, a kindergarten class takes 20.
Right.
With
But
one,
then you have 2, 3, 4 babies.
yeah,
That takes a lot of
but that's
time
with 2
to
caregivers,
focus.
it does.
But then you have all the other kids too. I
Mhm.
just think it's too much. Makes me really concerned.
Okay.
Well, with the shortage of daycare,
I get that. I
And-
understand.
there are preschools and daycares
Mhm.
in here in Murray that do have more than 16 children.
There are,
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah,
for daycare though,
yeah,
not
daycare,
preschool.
daycare. And this is what Miss Blackwell wants, right, is a daycare.
Correct.
She's not doing a preschool.
Preschool is allowed more than.
Right.
Right, but not a daycare. Cause that also means babies.
They what?
That also means babies.
18 months or older.
So
Yeah.
here's some that we found. So middle Mill Creek allows up to 12, including their own. Midvale is 12. Draper, like I said, some of these are hard to read because their codes are a lot different. They allow 6, or daycare, for daycare, or preschool up to 10. And then Holiday, 6 for a small daycare, 12 including their own for a daycare / preschool. West Jordan only allows 4 if they're not licensed. And then, so this is the one, so it actually follows state code when licensed. And then Taylorsville.
So how many will West Jordan have if they are licensed?
It says state code, so if the state
So
comes.
16.
Right, so
Okay.
if the state comes forward and says you can have 362, then West Jordan goes, you can have 362.
62.
So they just follow state code.
Yep.
Taylorsville has 12 and a star, I'll go see, okay, so this was, my brain's getting back to this. It cites state code, so this is one of those instances where I'm not sure whether they're following the 12 or if they're actually following the state code. And, they could be doing either. Sandy, they have a category 1 and a category 2. Category 1 is permitted and allows up to 8. Category 2 is conditional and allows 16 to 18. And then South Salt Lake, all I could find was a category 2 and I don't know. So I couldn't really find out. Sometimes these codes are really hard to kind of comb through to find what everybody's trying to mean.
They
So
wouldn't tell you?
let's see.
And then, are these just the places you looked, or
Yep,
the other
we-
places
This
didn't
is
have
all I
any?
looked. Yeah.
That's all you looked, okay.
Yep. So what was the one I just said? South Salt Lake. South Salt Lake, okay. Category 1, category 1. Yeah, I mean, all it really says is, category 2, regulations, primary use of the dwelling, and this is what we did. We took all these codes and sections and distilled them into what we think fits with the best for Murray, without getting so onerous. Because we do realize that they have to have their own, that the state has requirements, and that's some of the issue, right? Is that whenever the state changes the requirements, then if we put too much that we're just copying the state, then we have to go back and change all those things to reflect the same with the state. Yeah, so I just quickly glancing over it, I don't see a number. Yeah, so I don't anticipate that one's confusing for South Salt Lake. So yeah, you have what, 3, at least 3? That probably allows 16 to 18 or 16.
And while we don't have category 1 and 2 broken out the same way some of these do, we do have different requirements based on the number of children. So if you have up to 8, you have to have 1 stall. If you have more than that, you have to have 2 stalls, different things like that.
So if we use the applicant as a case study, are we getting complaints from residents about traffic, parking? Have we gotten any complaints about that?
Not that I'm aware of.
So it seems like at 16, it's not really affecting that neighborhood, enough that they're even noticing.
That they're
Or complaining, I
that
should
they're
say.
complaining.
Yeah.
to
Well,
us.
you would see that if
Yeah,
there was
that's a good point.
complaints,
That's a good point.
because everyone
Everybody's
in the
signed.
neighborhood has signed this petition to have this in their neighborhood. If there was complaints, then we would see them not so full of, so. I just think there's just a lot of lack of daycare for those that need to go to work.
And inexpensive daycare.
Yep,
But it needs to also be quality.
Oh.
Oh,
Children need.
most definitely, I would never say that.
There's a lot of kids. Teaching people
And how many
with babies.
adults will there be?
So the way that our code reads is that whatever the state requires them to have
Yes,
for an employee or caregivers is
Yes.
what we will allow.
okay,
which I
So
believe
we're-
for 16, I think are 2 caregivers,
Uh-huh.
adult caregivers.
Yeah. And that's what my granddaughter is in for a daycare, there's 2 adults. And there's 5, 6 kids.
That's reasonable. That's 16?
But you have more people, correct?
No, 2.
For the 16?
Well, so I think what you were saying,
Yes,
that 5 or 6 kids for one person, right?
yeah, yeah.
So I mean, I think the point Pam is trying to explain, and I apologize if I'm speaking.
No, you go right ahead,
Is
Zach.
that if they're handling 5 or 6 kids, then technically 2 other people could handle another 5 or 6 kids.
But it's 2 per 16, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and it's still kind of what the state allows.
It doesn't mean that it's perfect, so that doesn't mean
For
it
sure.
fits for Murray.
And that's why we brought this forward. We do feel like the changes that we proposed and the applicant's request is reasonable.
Okay.
Otherwise, we wouldn't be here, because, yeah, we made sure we thoroughly vetted it and looking at things.
Have you had a conversation with Ms. Blackwell about having maybe one more person to help with 16 kids?
I did not.
Okay.
No. Any other questions
How
for
did
us?
how, it passed through the planning and zoning, it passed, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And they had, I didn't read any,
Unanimous?
what?
Unanimous?
I think it was.
Yeah, it was, yeah. And I didn't read anything on their report that was outstanding. That would put up a red flag for me.
No, nothing that I could recall that really stood out.
And Ms. Blackwell is the only applicant that has come to you?
She's the one that spearheaded this.
Okay.
There are others that have signed that I mean there were others that are in support, which I think are in your packet. Those letters of
Yes,
support.
yeah, mhm,
That
yeah.
are operating in Murray that would
Yeah.
like to have additional children as well.
Thanks for doing the extra work, guys. I
So
appreciate
do
it.
you think, not done yet,
That's fine.
do you think that some of these kids will attend to the public schools, being in the daycare? Would they go and leave the premise and go to the school, and that way it will relieve some of the pressure off of having 16 kids?
I mean, it's gonna be on a case by case basis, right, depending on
Right.
what kids they take. But I do know, cause Ms. Blackwell did call me today,
Okay.
asking about this meeting and she indicated that she did have a couple, I'll say a couple, I think it was a few, but a couple that were in school, actively in school.
So they're there
okay.
at school from 8 in the morning.
Yeah.
Until 3:15, I think they get out
I
in
haven't
that
been in
area.
school in a very long
Well,
time. And I don't have children.
so they get
So
out
I
like
don't
at
know.
3:15.
Yeah,
So that relieves some of the pressure off of her home during that time frame. So she could take the 16 kids, because some of them do go to a local elementary school.
Sure.
Or the parents pick them up and take them to another elementary school.
Just to be clear though, that's not what our ordinance
Right.
proposes. So
Right,
yeah.
If you're,
Exactly.
it should be based on a full day's worth of kids that are not in school going to this daycare, right? We shouldn't base it on the individual situation, cause it goes
Right.
well.
That is true, yes.
But I want to pull on this thread a little more, because the state requirement is school-age children don't count toward the 16. So are
We would count them.
that's what I'm asking, we would still count them toward the 16?
16 is 16 is 16.
Yes.
okay.
Because, yeah,
Like
in
they
the
couldn't
packet they
have,
said,
they
Yes.
couldn't have 362.
right,
And then you have, I can't do 16 minus 362 that quickly, so, 350.
Well, Paul could if he was here.
Yeah, 350 go to school, and then you have,
okay. So good. do what you're saying then.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just feel like we need options for our parents. Especially if it's in their neighborhood and it's convenient for them to drop them off.
I think the parents could probably be a good judge if it's a chaotic situation.
Yep,
They wouldn't leave their kids there anyway, so.
yep, exactly. Okay,
Okay. Awesome.
are we done?
Thank you very much.
Great, so our next discussion item is on an ordinance amending the city's fiscal year 2025-2026 budget. Brenda Moore presenting 15. Hi!
So this is the first budget amendment of the year. It's always the largest.
Yeah.
Basically because the construction season is the summer, the year ends in the middle of the summer. Things are in progress and some are gonna get finished, some don't. And the state does not allow multi-year budgeting. So we come in September every year and say, these are the projects that were being worked on or being saved for or whatever the case may be. And we need to reauthorize them to be completed or to be saved for the next year, whatever that case may be. So what happens with these, June 30th, we haven't spent the money, it goes into reserves. I'm coming in September, pulling those exact same numbers that went in out of reserves, unless I tell you otherwise and say it's a new project, or we've added funds to it. Some of these I actually anticipated we wouldn't get it all spent, like the Public Works building, so I had already rolled a bunch of their money and put it in the next budget, so the number moving forward is not $20 million, it's only 3. I left enough in for them to finish the year and then from there. Some of the newer things on here in the grants, I will be adding a new one that we received after I did your original memo for an EMS grant for $3,889. That grant used to be up in the $10,000 to $12,000 range. It has slowly gone down every year as we get more population, as we get more entities, as we get less federal dollars being passed through the state. So,
So how much, say the number again, how much?
3,889. That's half of what it was last year-ish. I did this year, I'm moving forward the alcohol funds that they haven't spent. They do have ideas for them, so they will spend. They spent more than we received. We had 2 years where we didn't spend anything. That would be called during COVID. And so now we're catching up and we're spending extra. But the chief has got some big projects that he's working on to spend more of that money. The JAG grant, we didn't quite get that all spent. The Brownsfield grant, we were awarded $500,000. I'm just appropriating $50,000 of that, so when they do have projects that they're working on it, they don't have to use their own budget. They have that grant budget sitting there. I did new stuff. We had some insurance changes, not many. IT, yeah. That is the effect of one person going from opt-out to getting insurance for a family, that $18,000. Just so you know. Cemetery is similar, except for I think they went to two-party from opt-out. The water fund, something similar. Those types of funds, they're small enough. The police had some people change, but there's enough of those individuals that it doesn't affect. The library had some miscellaneous stuff for the director. And stormwater, this is that piece of property we're going to give away. It's just, we're gonna appropriate $170,000 on the book value. And that is just a purely budget entry. You'll have budget, there's no cash involved in this. So, the rest of them, various, you can go through, I could go through them all, it would take hours. Did anybody see anything they saw that they had questions about?
I did, oh, go ahead, Diane.
CED, the general plan update. So that's $175,000, and when are we gonna have a regular general plan? Well, it's the general plan, we're starting to save for the general plan. Okay, so
Update.
what's the update? The update is when they're gonna redo the whole thing, so we put aside 1 year, 175 that we've just left in there. You'd have to ask Chad when they're gonna start it. It's about a 3-year project and it's gonna be
No.
about 400 something thousand.
No.
Yeah, we're planning to apply for funds through Wasatch Front Regional Council in the upcoming cycle. So it'd be an award next spring, so potentially that following fall starting, so that fall of 26.
So the 175 is going to,
Just
Go
sit
towards-
there.
We'd go towards a match towards the.
so you're
towards these
gonna
funds.
accumulate
Yeah.
the 400 and, I know, it's so
We
expensive.
would not, we would hope to get a lot of that from Wasatch Front Regional Council through that grant process.
Great. Good deal, okay.
But, and that's one of those things that I have it there, it's sitting as a budget. I know he's not gonna spend it in the next year, but I don't wanna spend it again
that's what
somewhere
I was-
else, so I've gotta get it
So
out
it's
of
like a
my,
placeholder.
it's a placeholder.
Okay, thanks.
Any others that anybody saw that was,
The residents hazard mitigation along the Parkway?
that's the golf course.
That's the same question.
And it sits there, they were originally gonna do some tall fencing. So I have left it sitting there, we could pull it back if we need
Along
to.
the golf
To protect the houses or to protect the
Oh,
road. They're
gotcha.
having some
Yeah, 'cause
issues.
those one houses that won't move, yeah, gotcha.
Can we just get better golfers?
Right? Golfing lessons, there are a lot of golfing lessons.
So I'm
Okay.
letting it sit there, and if they find something that they need to do to mitigate even a different area of the golf course that we're not aware of, that we find. So I just let that sit there, it's rolling forward.
The golfer's responsibility if they hit something?
Yes, it is.
No, not necessarily.
Alright. I see the signs all the time.
Well, supposedly.
The retiling of the showers, locker rooms and bathrooms at 130,000, was that in the rec center? Where
They
was-
are doing it right now,
Okay.
as we speak.
Okay.
Yes. That is in
So where are
rec
the
center.
swimmers going, the Murray High swimmers?
They're swimming outside right now.
Okay.
I think-
Outside.
I
Yeah,
think
we'll do
everybody
that
lap
now.
swimming,
So
the
they
pool
can
is open, I just saw something come across my email feed that says, something, so the pool is still open, it's open until 8 o'clock at night in some nights.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a whole changed little thing, so, yeah, but that's what that was, it is in the park center.
I had a question about stormwater. So 16D, 9th west is $50,000, 725 east is $95,000. They're both crane designs. Why is that double? The same project, one's twice as much.
One's a state road, one's not, one's further, one's not.
Okay.
It's the scope of what he's attempting to design, would be my, without having Trey sit here, would be my guess, is, the scope
Okay.
or the complexity that he's anticipating
Okay.
on the design. Yeah. And then the parks, I have adjusted the Parks Armory project a little bit. In the next one, it'll drop down to 255, they spent a little more money. The facilities, the Murray Mansion, I'm actually gonna raise that one back up, or decrease that one, sorry. The Armory project's gonna have 255,000 instead of 251 to roll forward. We moved some unrelated expenses out of there as we were looking through things. I may have another big adjustment, I just noticed today when I was working through them, there's a bunch in the streets, A through F. He told me to move it to maintenance, because they are maintenance, these overlays. But he also told me to move it to the general fund in the Class C money, which doesn't matter, it's all reserved for, it's either transportation it's reserved for, or it's Class C he's on vacation today, so I can't double check with him that he just didn't typo it. So I'm going to check with him, and if he wants it in Class C, we'll move it, but those reserves are sitting there reserved for stuff anyway. So that may move, it may not, it may sit there. Some of these, if you ever see things and they say, well, it's still there, what they're usually waiting for on streets projects is the water or the wastewater to get done first.
Yeah.
And sometimes they take a little longer to get done than anticipated, and then streets just keeps rolling the money until they're ready to do the paving. We're trying to be smart about it and not replace a road and then go dig it up the next year for a water line. So that's there. The new ones from reserves, E360 is gonna do business license software for us. They're the same people who do the building permits. And we'll be able to do everything online through the application process, send them their licenses instead of via mail and various other things. It's gonna be, I am told, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be much better for our citizens and our businesses. And so we need to pay for the implementation and then the first year subscription fee, which was not included in the budget.
And that leaves reserves at?
Oh, they'll stay right around 26%, I'll make sure.
I was just gonna ask that, what's left in our
That's-
reserve?
I haven't
Yeah.
calculated what I am moving over, but I already know I need to move more money than we anticipated over to reserves. I know that already, I just haven't done all the math. Okay,
So the MDA, we have 15,000 for projects on this building,
yeah,
including adding recording to the Cottonwood room.
upstairs, cause we ended up with a scheduling process that we can auto record here, we can auto record there. Couldn't use the Cottonwood room was just cameras. We have now added recording capability, cause both of these were scheduled and they needed a meeting. So we thought we would do one more room, hopefully that you could live broadcast a meeting.
Cause
So,
I'm just thinking, this room works about 20% of the time.
well, I hope the new system with the different installers or whatever.
Cause I'm just looking at that money
We have a lot of
thinking,
people
it might be better instead of Cottonwood to get this one working.
That is why, that one was only it was only 5,000 or 6,000, and I left the other 10 to just sit here and wait for the next thing. And then this will be the last year you'll see anything for City Hall.
Okay.
It'll all go away. I will just roll it into the project for the other.
And the issue is not so much that there's 3 meetings going on that need to be recorded at the same time, it's that this room is being used for some great community events, and there's no place to record at that point, so we have things like hearings officers meetings and design review committee meetings that we need to be able to hold at the same time.
All I'm saying is, I want this room to work. Before we add, let's get this room to work.
We're with you.
We're with it. And then the capital projects fund, that 615 from reserves for the purchase of that building to make it a parking lot.
Yep.
We're gonna buy a lot of buildings and make them parking lots. I think there's a song about that.
Flat.
So good.
Paradise.
But I don't know if they're paradise. I do not know. And we're actually gonna move a little less money for the Public Works project because another bill came through. They got it last year. Any other questions about this? Okay.
No.
And if anybody sat and did the math, I just did the math again and they all add up and add them, so.
Never question you.
Now I have to go and look.
I know.
Go do it.
Spreadsheet. Put it all in there.
Okay,
Be up all night.
you'll see it, public hearing next meeting.
Okay, with any other questions for anybody? Okay, this meeting is adjourned.
6:30, and time for the Murray City Municipal Council meeting for September 2nd, 2025. And I wanted to welcome everyone. Council members are here with the exception of Paul Pickett, who has been excused. We also have the mayor, Brooke, and Mark. I'm so used to GL being there. Mark, I'm sorry. And also our council director, Jennifer. So we'll get started. For the opening ceremonies, I've called you all to order. So now we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance, and I've asked Colby Alverson to lead us. Colby, thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, Colby. All right, we have no scheduled minutes to approve. We are now at citizen comments, and comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Step to the microphone, state your name and city of residence, and fill out the required form. Now is the time. We also have one public hearing, and so we'll have some time for the audience to speak on that. But right now, we're doing citizen comments. Okay, seeing none, we will go on to special recognition. Our special recognition tonight is to consider a joint resolution of the mayor and municipal council of Murray City, Utah, declaring September 9th, 2025 through September 12th, 2025 as Public Power Week. Greg Bellon is presenting. But first, I'm thinking we should have the council approve the ordinance. Right? Let's, okay, I mean the joint resolution. So we already have the joint resolution. And I think we need to have that approved. So I will appreciate a motion.
Point of order, do we want to read the resolution?
Okay, good idea.
Would you like me to read it? Or do
Isn't
we
the
want
mayor going to read that? No?
No.
Oh,
And you think Greg's reading it?
oh,
Greg,
Greg.
would you read the resolution, and then we will consider it. Thank you.
do you need a copy?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I have a copy of it. There it is.
Council, Mayor, thanks for letting us be with you tonight. So, joint resolution of the Mayor and Municipal Council of Murray City, Utah, declaring September 9th to the 12th, 2025 Public Power Week. Whereas Murray's citizens in 1913 voted and approved the formation of the community's own municipal electric utility. Thank you. And whereas the citizens of Murray have owned and operated an independent electric utility, Murray City Power, for 112 years, providing our community with safe, reliable, and reasonably priced electricity. And whereas Murray City Power is one of over 2,000 consumer-owned electric utilities that comprise the American Public Power Association, APPA, an organization that annually promotes Public Power Week. Now, therefore, we, the Mayor and Murray City Municipal Council, do hereby declare September 9th to the 12th Public Power Week. Be it therefore resolved that we hereby encourage the citizens of Murray to participate in the Public Power Celebration event on Thursday, the 11th day of September, to honor 112 successful years of public power in Murray. And be it further resolved that our community acknowledges that the success of Murray City Power has been achieved through the combined and cooperative efforts of our employees, citizens, fellow city departments, elected officials, and industry partners, including the Utah Associated Municipal Power Systems, UAMPS, the Intermountain Power Agency, IPA, and the American Public Power Association, APPA.
Very good.
There
Thank
is
you.
our joint resolution for you. Thank you.
Thank you for reading that. I really appreciate it. Okay, now I will send it to the council for consideration and hopefully a motion.
I make a motion to approve the joint resolution of the mayor and municipal council of Murray City, Utah, declaring September 9th, 2025 through September 12th, 2025 as Public Power Week.
Do
I
we have-
second it.
Oh, very good. We have a motion and a second. Brooke, would you call the roll?
Mr. Hawk?
Aye.
Ms. Cotter?
Aye.
Mr. Goodman?
Aye.
Ms. Turner?
Aye. Thank you, Brooke. All right. Greg, would you like to speak to this?
Yes.
Thank you.
So if you think about back in, what they say, a long time ago, someone had the foresight to establish a power department here in Murray. And if you think over the years what's evolved into and what it represents now, you know, it's the only municipal power company in Utah County, or sorry, Salt Lake County,
Salt Lake.
right? And so I think that speaks volumes. So I'm proud to work here. I love our employees. I mean, our employees are the best. You can't find better employees, I think, in our department and the city. I enjoy Murray City as a whole, and we're grateful to be a part of Murray City. So, and Matt and I, in the last few years, have really tried to, you know, encourage. We want people to be happy at their jobs, and we want them to treat people as they want to be treated, and that's our mantra as we go forward. And but I think our power department shines, and so I think we have as a jewel, right, in all that we have, and all of our areas that we have. You know, Murray's different than most every city out there. So we're grateful as a power department to represent, and just want to put out September 11th at the big pavilion in the park. Come join us from 4 to 6:30 p.m. for a public power celebration. We'll have you can come have a good hot dog with us, and just there's giveaways, there's different things. Just come and enjoy an evening and stay as long as you want, and just come celebrate public power with us. So I love this, again, I love the support of the council, the mayor, and the city support that we get from all the departments, and it's felt and very much appreciated, so thank you.
Thank you, Greg. I know we're so lucky in Murray to have our own public power. It's amazing. And what is it? Is it still 99.9%?
You bet.
Those squirrels haven't brought it down at all. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, council. Do you have any other comments to make? Nope, we just think you're wonderful, and we really appreciate all the work that goes into Murray having its own power. So that's pretty awesome. Okay. We don't have a consent agenda. We are now at the public hearings part. And so our first public hearing, our one and only, is to consider an ordinance amending section 15.20.150E and section 15.22.0050 of the Murray Municipal Code relating to transformer fees for upgraded service and project improvement allowances provided by the city. Greg?
it's a power night, it looks like. Let's go through this. I have a PowerPoint that we had ready for last year or not last week. So we're amending, like I said, section 15.20.150E and section 15.22.050. And so what that is we're just, we're trying to simplify when someone comes and asks for an upgrade to their service. What happens is, say they have a 100 amp service, they want to go to 200 amps. What that does is that puts a bigger draw on our system, and also and it takes capacity out of our transformer. So our planners will look at it, our system will look at our system, and depending on if the transformer is close to being overloaded or if it's overloaded at that point, we need to replace that transformer. So what we're doing is we're asking to have a new fee it's a fixed fee for upgrades to up to 200 amp services. And what would that be is $435 for an overhead connection and $600 for an underground connection. And we believe that's fair and equitable. As it is now, depending on how it works, so one person upgrading their service might put that transformer to where it needs to be replaced, and they would bear the cost of the replacing of that transformer. And what we're doing is asking to kind of help everybody pay for that upgrade that's on that transformer, whether it's now or whether it's in the future. Just to give you an idea, if someone's on a 15 kVA overhead transformer and has to go to a 25, a new transformer is $2,240. And so what we're asking is each person to help pay that's upgrading their service to pay, well, it probably won't cover the costs depending on how many people are hooked to that transformer, but I think it's a fair fee. It models another utility down south that has the exact same fee, and it's working well for them. And I was talking with another director, and he says, oh wow, let me know how that goes. So we might institute that in our city because their system is kind of convoluted in how they have to divvy all that up. So we're going for simplification, fairness, and I think as we talked last, I think someone asked, well, what happens if I upgrade and I leave? Does the next person benefit from that? They sure do, but that's okay. I mean, that's just how things go. But it's just something that we've looked at. Our planners have done a lot of work on this. They're excited to get this into the 365 software, so it will help with the permitting process. Right now, we're processing a lot of these upgrades, and it's taking quite a bit of time. Getting this fee structure into that software will help the permitting process and probably reduce the time they're spending on these in half. So, and then if you're on an underground system, and if you're on a 25 kVA pad mount, you have to go to a 50 kVA pad mount, $4,600. So I mean, we're talking electricity is expensive. Our parts are expensive. Transformers are expensive. Everything we do is expensive. But we looked at this and really think this is a fair fee. And then for the 15.22.050, we just were updating and cleaning up some of our code we talked about last week. So anyway. Our recommendation is accepting the ordinance amending both those sections of the Murray City Municipal Code. So,
All right, thank you.
any questions?
I have a few questions.
Okay.
So you said it's $2,200 just to do a transformer, right? So that would require just over 5 people to pay off the cost. What happens if only one person upgrades? Are we just bearing the cost as a city
Correct.
on that upgrade?
Yes.
How often do we have a situation where we have 5 people ask for an upgrade on a transformer?
We're seeing upgrades like we've never seen before. Like I said, I don't know what's driving it. I don't know if someone's out knocking doors hoping to and selling. I don't know what's driving this, but we are seeing just I can't even tell you the increase. But yes, I mean, it just depends. I mean, we have one transformer that's got 20 people on it. I'm not sure how that happened, but we have a 100 kVA transformer that's got 20-plus people connected to it.
Because I guess my concern is, are we gonna see a run on transformers that's gonna increase our cost and mess with when we're doing like our schedule for transformers? So 20 years down the road, we're replacing a bunch of transformers because everybody has upgraded right now under this. Like, how is it gonna affect our scheduling for new transformers?
We always try to keep a certain amount of transformers on hand to deal with this type of thing. So we have an inventory, and we try to keep it at a certain level. When we go below level, that reorders for us. But yeah, I mean, it's going to affect, it could affect us going forward a little bit. And not, you might have 3 people upgrade, and maybe the transformer was big enough to handle all 3 upgrades, and we don't do an upgrade. I mean, it's just depends on how old it is, when houses were hooked up. You know, if they're 30-year-old homes and they have 100 amp services, or there's 75 amp services still out there. You know, and if the transformer, you try to get the transformers loaded, they work best at 100% when they're full load. Full load, that's when they work the best. When you start going overload, you can go up to a certain percent and still kind of work them okay, but they start to overheat, they start to degrade, and it takes the life out of them. We try to do the very best we can to get the right transformer size when we in initial hookups in the developments, right? But we can't really control after that TVs, stuff that gets added in the homes. Although things are getting, a little, LED lights, that kind of things are coming in. So it's kind of a give and take a little bit on what that entails. But I don't see it impacting us anymore. I mean, we'll deal with that. So, but yeah, prices just keep going up. So, especially in the last little while, and they're still out of, over a year on some transformers that we're talking about. So, yeah, we have to plan. Our planners do a really good job of predicting and going to the future and what we need. So, and our warehouse does a really good job of inventory, and so they're doing good. Does that answer your question, I hope, in a roundabout way?
Okay. This is a public hearing, and as a result, I will open it now for the public to make comments. Same rules apply as citizen comments. You'll be limited to 3 minutes. Step to the microphone, state your name and city of residence, and fill out the required forms. So, do we have any public comments? Okay, seeing none, I will close the public hearing and send it to the council for comments. A motion.
So we're mainly seeing this is because of EVs and RVs and things like that?
Greg, will you come to the?
Yeah, I mean, it could be someone wants an EV. That could be driving some of this. Someone decides they want a hot tub. One person just was selling.
Oh, that's right. That's what you were saying in the
One
community,
person,
the hot tubs.
some
Okay.
person was selling their home, and they could not sell it to the new individual until they upgraded the service, because their insurance of the new people said that they would not insure the home with the existing service, which to me, that just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But I saw that firsthand.
Okay.
So,
Okay, there are no further questions, then I would appreciate a motion.
I move to approve the ordinance amending section 15.20.150 parentheses E and section 15.22.050 of the Murray City Municipal Code relating to transformer fees for upgrading service and project improvement allowance provided by the city.
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion and a second. Is there a discussion on the motion? Seeing none. Brooke, would you call the roll?
Mr. Hawk?
Aye.
Ms. Cotter?
Aye.
Mr. Goodman?
Aye.
Ms. Turner?
Aye. Okay, motion passes unanimously. Since we
you.
have no business items, we will go to the mayor's report and questions from the council.
I told someone we will definitely be out of here by 7. I have 20 minutes presentation, I can't believe it, but anyway, we'll be out by 7. So last week, a few of you were there. We had the privilege of accepting a beautiful quilt. Pam, you were there. Love Murray quilt made by what they call the Thursday Quilters. And it was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It's hanging, where did we say we're hanging it? We're hanging it in the theater right now. And then, anyway, you'll see it there, but it's
And then it
beautiful.
will go over to the.
And it'll go over to the rec center, senior rec center. Thanks, Pam. And also, they donate quilts to our police officers, just for, and to the firefighters, or first responders, for residents in times of crisis. And it's just kind of a cool thing that these people do, these Thursday Quilters. And we just want to thank them for their service and for their willingness to do this. It's something they do from their heart. And I've talked to Joey and Craig, and it really does help these victims and these people that have gone through a lot to have a quilt made by them. And so it's been something that they've been doing, and it's just an amazing thing, and we just wanted to publicly thank them. We went over and had a presentation last week, but we just wanted to thank them here. Also, the TTAP program, which is for 2026 Transportation Alternatives Program, we were awarded a $116,000 grant that will support a pedestrian crossing improvements on Fire Clay Avenue at Trax. And this is for safety and accessibility for those using public transit. Just important to keep us connected and a walkable area and make it safe. So that has happened, or we've received. And other than that, there's a lot of things going on with the theater. I'll update you in a couple of weeks what's going on, but it's good. Everything seems to be happening. I don't want to say a lot because they seem to jinx it if I say too much. So anyway, a lot of projects going on, and Russ's building is coming along, Public Works, and that's a massive undertaking.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, I think we're going to have a new mechanic shop. I mean, like, it's going to be so cool because that thing has been tilting for a while, going back and forth. So we're excited to get that. But anyway, those are some of the things that we're doing right now. Any questions?
I don't have a question, but I love when Friday, when we were with at the senior rec center, they said one of them used the blankets for delivering a baby.
Yeah.
I thought that was
Pretty
really
impressive, huh?
cool. It was really neat.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us be there.
Yeah, thank you for being there.
Any other questions or comments? All right. Thank you, Mayor, and we are adjourned.
Hey, don't be saying I can't.